Hi, welcome to ENC Shizuoka channel. I am Tony Sekine, the director of this organization. Today, I would like to hear from Chili Gabeni, who is originally from South Africa and currently working in ENC Arakawa, Tokyo as a staff. She was also our guest speaker in one of our workshops last year on the theme of working in overseas. Hi, Chili.
Hi.
Could you introduce yourself briefly to the viewers?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Chili. My full name is Chili Z, which means grace. I've been in Japan for about 21 months now.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, I'm very close to it. Yeah. It's really like been quite a journey. I've been enjoying being here. Didn't get to go home for 21 months. I'll have to stay that long without visiting my family, but it's been like home here. People were really so kind. So
yeah, so you've been here for 21 months, and what would be your overall impression of this 21 month stay without going home?
Yeah, when I first arrived, it was just like, oh my goodness, I couldn't recognize a thing, like the languages. You know, people only speak Japanese here, and you see kanji everywhere. So before I came, I was told I will need to learn the language. I'm like, okay, yeah, I will, you know. When I arrived, I realized, oh, I really need to learn the language. You know? Just seeing kanji everywhere, couldn't really even understand how, I couldn't figure out my directions and stuff like that. But I mean, the people, Japanese people are really, really amazing. So for example, like I like to talk about how the times when I was looking for directions, and I would see, like, I want to ask these Japanese people, they're busy, they're going on their, you know, you can see they're like busy, they're trying to rush to somewhere. But when I stop them to ask for help, like they would actually stop everything, give me their attention, try to help me find my direction. And when they couldn't figure it out, they actually decide like, oh, we'll go with you and we'll figure it out for you and show you where you're supposed to go. I thought that was mind blowing, you know. So
that's very kind of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so kind. South Africans are like really nice people, but this level for me was like really an extra mile. I remember one time there was also this old man. I was trying to figure out, like, I wanted to buy the ticket, like the train ticket, and I'm trying to figure out how to buy. So I'm looking around like, okay, you know, how much? And then he comes and then he actually spoke to me in English. He's an old man. It's Japanese. And then he's like, where do you want to go? And then I told him, and then he shows me where I need to go. And then after that, he goes and he buys a train ticket for me. And then he gives it to me. And then after that, he disappeared.
Oh, like he paid for it?
He just paid for it. Yeah, he just paid for my ticket, and then he just disappeared. You know, but those are the kind of things. Just the people are so really, really so kind. Made it so much easy for me to transition into the culture here. Yeah, it was good, like really, really good.
I see.
So Japan is it's different, a lot different from South Africa. Obviously, we know that it's kind of like monocultured, and South Africa is many cultures, many different people living next to each other. So
yeah, maybe for the viewers who are not so familiar with South Africa, South Africa is really multicultural nation. Lots of, though that's one nation, and but there are different tribes, different histories of their own, and languages different. Yeah, so it's really a multicultural place.
We have black people, white people, we have Indians, South Africans. So we have Indian South African, we have Malaysian South African, we call them the Cape Malays. We have Chinese, and then we have black people who speak different languages as well, and then we also have English, the English and Afrikaans, you know, so they all speak also different languages as well.
Yeah.
So, but we have 11 official languages in South Africa. and almost you find many people speaking quite maybe at least 2, 3, or 4 languages.
For you, how many languages that? How many languages do you speak?
I can say fluently I speak about 4 languages, but I can speak and understand somewhat about seven languages, which is pretty normal in South Africa. It's not like wow, because we live quite close to each other. Like your next neighbor could probably be somebody that speaks a different language than you, or a different culture. So it has become so normal to speak at least 2 to 3 languages in South Africa.
Yeah, so it's more like, if you live here, I mean, for example, I grew up here and I'm Japanese. So if I even speaking in 2 languages, English and Japanese, people would be surprised. And I speak a little bit of Malay, well, just basic because my wife is Malaysian. Yes, wow. But if people speak 3 or 4 languages here, that's quite surprising. But to you, to South Africans, that would be normal thing. Maybe that's really necessary to survive there.
It's important. So like when I came here, I couldn't even say that I speak. Like when people ask me how many languages I speak, I'd say I speak 1 language, because I just used to think that way, that even though I'm speaking many South African language, to me it was just like, oh, it's one language.
Oh, I see.
Until now, when I'm like outside of the country, when people are asking me more details about South Africa, that's when I'm like, oh yeah, I can speak 3 or 4 languages, which people get like amazed. I'm like, oh, is that amazing? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the communication style is quite different as well. Where in monocultural places and where in multicultural places. And we talked about it before, and probably we don't have so much time to get in there. But I think for students, especially who are in time or observing a lot of things and expanding their perspective, I get to talk to people from that kind of background is really meaningful and valuable. Yeah. And also that would mean we are so grateful to have you here in Japan, being part of ENC family.
Thank you so much for having me. And also just being part of ENC family, like, has helped a lot, because like the transition as I'm learning the language, like now I'm learning Japanese, but then I couldn't even tell anything. But having a family where people are actually vested in trying to help you transition, like it really helped a lot. But language, I think language is one of the very important things, because it actually helps you to really understand the culture, of the people, how people do what they do, And I mean, like I was saying to you earlier on, like just one of the things that stood out for me as I was learning Japanese, like the word itadakimasu or gochisouma deshita, like it's like the word, but they're telling me there's no English equivalent of
right.
that, like if in English you can just say thank you for the food, but in Japanese, like that word is actually quite packed, like just saying, thank you for everything that was involved in actually making that moment happen and placing a dish in front of you. So it taught me so much about like just getting to know the culture.
I mean, that's part of like a like monocultural part. Usually where homogeneous people come together and they share a lot in daily life, so you don't really rely on verbal communication to be so specific like multicultural place. So I think that would be that this episode that you shared would kind of show the difference in communication style, even this simple word itadakimasu. So we can hear many of those things. Yeah, from Chile. And well, we have time limit. But at last, do you have any comments to the viewers?
Yeah, like I think Japan has just really really stood out for me, because I was actually sharing sometime, I think last time also we shared, just how when I was observing with the students, you know, like how like the differences in the student culture here in Japan and student culture in South Africa. You know, the Japanese students, they actually have like this sense of responsibility, you know. So like the students in South Africa, we just go to school to study, you know, we don't have to be trying to work. But then when you come to Japan, you find that students, so I remember I was on campus trying to meet some students and then trying to make engagement with them, and they were like, oh, so keen for getting to meet, but then their schedule is like, oh, I have class, and then after that I have baito, and then another one had actually two baitos, you know, to go to, and that was pretty different from where I come from, you know, and it just really kind of touched me in terms of seeing how young people in Japan have that sense of responsibility when it comes to building the economy of the nation and just taking the responsibility. It's a little bit different from South Africa when it comes to that. South Africans young people will really had a strong voice in really helping the change in our nation politically. And that was really amazing. But when it comes to now taking part in the building of the economy, it feels like we need to wait until we finish studying and then we can do it later. But just being exposed to this here in Japan was amazing. You know, I was really touched by that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I want to remind the viewers that Chile is in Tokyo, so you don't have to travel all the way crossing over the Pacific to see this wonderful woman. If you want to talk to her, probably through us, we could talk. And yeah, it's really, if you grew up here, we don't really hear a lot about South Africa. And that's one thing I felt when we had you in workshop. Yeah, it's the insight that she gave us was really interesting. And also, I would like to remind the viewers that ENC is, of course, exists in more than 80 countries, but some of them in Japan. And in fact, one student from here, we got to know that person here and graduated and now working in Tokyo. But this person is now with Chile and still be in the community. And that's really beautiful thing. Different places, but the same vision. Yeah, working together. Yeah,
it's beautiful. It was really amazing. Like just being able to connect with her and knowing that, like the time when we connect, it's like, oh yeah, you know, you're not Tony. Oh yeah, I know Tony. You know, so it's really awesome. You know, so it's great to be able to connect with each other in this way and build with one another.
Right. Okay. Time is coming. So thank you so much. Today's guest was Chili Gabeni, originally from South Africa, currently in Tokyo. So let's keep in touch. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So see you.